Somebody make the sun go away. Somebody make the air get clean. Thank you, baby. I appreciate it. That's good. Okay, let's see what we can do here.
It's okay.
I know it's okay. That doesn't mean that you kaboom skis. That's why we got the Gorilla Glass, you see. We're good. In the meantime, look at that. Oh, we're starting to get some shade on you.
Okay.
Yeah, no, everything good. I just dropped my phone. It's no big. It did a little backflip and then another one.
And look at you. You got an intact phone.
Well, that's the thing, baby.
Yeah.
Like iPhones, I drop them like that maybe probably once a month. Maybe not that bad. That was a tiddly top. Drop them like that like once a month. I've never cracked an iPhone.
Yeah.
Never once.
This one just.
This one blew up when you dropped it.
Yeah.
It blew up. Shabbat shalom. Hello, hello, hello.
I'm sorry I couldn't catch it.
Baby, that's okay. It was my bad, not your bad. But look, you got shade out of it, and I got, the phone's fine. Salt was flowing on onion nuggets last night. Yeah. I mean, even Amelia said, I think you went a little hard on TJ. I'm thinking about it. I haven't gone back and watched it yet, so I don't know exactly what happened. But I will tell you this. Here's where my mind was. Maybe my fucking TJ, like, it would be one thing if TJ was just going, I don't believe this guy. Right? I don't believe this guy's schedule. Because it's true. That guy might have been flexing his schedule or whatever. But when TJ goes like, nobody keeps a schedule like this. This is just bullshit. Nobody in the world. I'm like, well, there are people in the world that keep fucking even stricter schedules than that. He leaves himself like free time. No, they don't. Nobody keeps a schedule like that. And it's like, TJ goes into this thing where it's like he judges every other person on the planet by his measurement. And it's like TJ, I don't think he realizes sometimes that he's lived an extraordinary life. Like, he's not ordinary, and like the ability to be how TJ is a confluence of things, mostly out of his control in his youth and then completely in his control in his adulthood. But like a set of skills and a set of fucking like choices that most people don't get, right? And like as far as the heated stuff goes, like I wasn't even really that heated. I mean, I know, I was getting spicy with him, he was getting spicy with me. But like as far as heated goes, I was just trying to get to the bottom of, the proclamations. Because it really, like, after about 10 minutes, it wasn't about that guy anymore. It was about people don't live a schedule like this. And then I told him, let me tell you my schedule. Because he was talking about, like, oh, where's his free time? Where's his bullshit? Where's his this and that and this and that, right? So I told him my schedule when I was a working man. And before I did that, he was telling me, like, I was going to add all kinds of shit. Oh, I read philosophy and I wrote a treatise and blah, and it was bullshit. It was literally just wake up, shower, get a Red Bull, go to work, drink the Red Bull at my break, work again, work, have a lunch, work, come home exhausted, take a shower, get on the couch for an hour, watch TV, wife comes home, eat dinner, watch TV for a couple more hours, go to bed and do it again, But in his mind, I was going to tell him, like, oh, I wove a basket and I did that. It's like, no, bro. But, like, the guy that was, not to defend the dude whose schedule it was, but the guy whose schedule it was clearly works for himself, doesn't have to work as much as I was working at the time. I was working 10 hours a day, at least, at the time. So that's where it was. It was just like, and it happened with, what was it about? There was another thing where TJ made a proclamation from on high. Was it collarbones or something, or shoulder blades, or?
Well, I think the point where it started going a little far was you saying that he didn't want to help the show grow because of his schedule.
Well,
or
he
lack of
said
schedule.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I didn't say that. He said I show up late because I don't care. And I said, yeah, I know you don't care. You don't care about other people's time. You don't care about the show. You don't care about growing the show, right? He didn't gainsay me on any of that.
Yeah.
He said, yep, yep. So I don't know. I mean, I didn't come up with TJ doesn't give a fuck about the show. He said, I show up late because I don't give a fuck. That's what he said. Well, that's apparent. You know, you don't care about my time or your brother's time. You don't care about the audience that's waiting, that we told we'd be live at this time and we're not. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what to say to that.
I just feel that you extending that is what escalated it. A little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, probably. But it, you know, whatever. I was ready to escalate because TJ just stonewalls. Like, he'll make a proclamation and then double, triple, quadruple down about how people don't have schedules like this. Yes, they do. People don't live their lives this regimented. Yes, they do. Like, yes, they do. It's like, you can shit on this guy's schedule and say he's doing a grind set flex or whatever. Maybe he is. But to say that it's like unbelievable on the face of it is just ludicrous. There are people out there that structure every second of their day because they have to, or because they want to. It's a class disparity. I came from working class background and now I have my own schedule. And other people I meet from better economic circumstances never developed a respect for time. I don't know about that. But like, once again, like, I do know that the guys are late. Like I said, I give Scotty more leeway because Scotty's got extra fucking responsibilities that TJ ain't got. But still, even then, right? I think you're right. I think it's a class disparity. I think that having to, like, growing up around blue collar workers and watching them have to keep a schedule or get fired, which neither of my parents ever did, never got fired. And then at 18, you're thrown into that world yourself, right? And you do exactly what your parents did. You work your fucking ass off. You keep a schedule. You do it because you have to pay your bills, right? Like, that didn't happen to TJ and Scotty until they were older, already grown, and they had the ability to start their own business rather than go out and look for jobs. So, you know, there is a disparity in experience both ways. I didn't start my own job at 18 or 19 like they did. And that's what it was about, I think. It's just talking past one another because we come from a very different background. I personally tried to stick to half the size of a schedule showcase from that guy and I couldn't pull it off. Yeah. Some people don't operate well under a rigid schedule. They operate better on, here's what I have to get done in this amount of time. But if you have a job, you're on a schedule. It's called the work schedule. Comes out every week, and you find out what your schedule for next week is when you look at it, right? Oh shit, what am I working next week? Let's go look at the schedule. Oh, okay, I'm off on Wednesday. Cool. I can make plans on Wednesday, right? Everybody's got a fucking schedule. But, you know, like, to a certain extent for TJ, the schedule just is whatever he wants at the moment. And that's cool. That is a benefit of being self-employed, a benefit of being your own boss and all that. But to a certain extent, like, if you are running your own business, you have to have a schedule. Your business, your doors unlock at a certain time every day. You don't want your customers pulling up, seeing 8 a.m. on the door, it's 8:30 and nobody's in there. They're never going to come back, right? And he said some shit last night. Oh, I don't think we're losing anybody because we're late. I don't think anybody bounces off the content because we start late. And I'm like, really? So let's say that you go to fucking watch a movie, right? And it's on TV. You turn it on. It's supposed to start at 9 and 9:30 rolls around and it hasn't started yet. You're not switching channels? You're just sitting there watching the fucking coming soon thing? It's like, that's the type of shit that I think gets clouded in when you don't realize that human beings keep schedules. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it could be someone's checking it out on their break.
Right.
And
Or it could
their
be that
break is 2 to 2:15.
Right.
They'd like to see the first few minutes. And
or it could be somebody coming from over here,
Yeah.
right? I did a big stream. I got
Yeah.
brand new people. I told them right after I ended my thing, hey, in about 30 minutes, we're live. Go over to Onion Nuggets. We weren't live in 30 minutes. We were live in 45. So how many of those people that otherwise might have watched the show been like, damn, this is chill. Let me get a Patreon. Just went like, thought they were starting. I'm bored. Fuck it. I'm not going to sit here and stare at a starting soon screen for fucking X amount of hours. So we're really only getting, the only people that don't bounce right off when you fuck up your schedule are people that are already watching us, right? Any new person is not going to sit there for fucking 20 minutes waiting for a show to start. Like, you know? So it's like we're shutting the door on new people coming in because we can't keep a schedule, a basic schedule that starts the show at the right time. Why would we do that? Why would that avail us of something that's more valuable than new customers? It doesn't. So that's what the fight was about last night. That's what the argument was about. It's like, I don't care if your personal life is complete chaos. You wear underwear on your head and socks on your dick and you fucking run around the house shitting in the corners. But when it comes to the business, there needs to be a schedule. We need to know. There needs to be a predictable start and end time. There needs to be a predictable meeting time. And there just isn't. Period. And it's just like, I don't like that it's that way. But dude, I lived my whole fucking life. If you showed up, if I were to show up blithely 10 minutes late twice in a row, I'd be fired. Fired. Straight up fired. Oops, I was running an errand at the last minute and I didn't think of my job and now I'm 20 minutes late. Fired. Right? Never had to deal with that. So never developed any kind of internal schedule or sense of urgency. And it's not just you guys he's blowing off. I don't want to. Let's not shit talk TJ anymore. We talked that out. I think we understood each other at the end. But that's like, make no bones about it. That's what the argument was about. The argument was about time management and how it does matter when you have a business. Like he straight up said last night, I don't think we're bouncing anybody. I don't think anybody's leaving the content because we're 10 minutes late. And I was like, that's just fucking short-sighted and silly. You got a fucking brand new person that I threw over there, or 10 of them, that show up, and I said we're going live in half an hour, and it's fucking 45 minutes later, and there's still just a screen there saying starting soon. About half or more of those people just bounced right off that shit and won't come back. So it does matter. It does matter. Timing matters. Being where you tell people you're going to be at the time you tell them they're going to be matters. You know why? Because some people have schedules. Some people are working people. They don't have time to sit and wait 20 minutes for a show to start. They got other things to do. They want to be entertained. They got driving to do. They don't want to fuck around no more. Right? Quit watching DFF last year. Last night was the first episode I've watched in 6 months. Cool. Yeah, I kind of agree. I'm just starting to get recommended you guys again after this pretty lengthy hiatus. Cool. Wait, what happened? You just have to watch it. We're both stubborn. I mean, I'm stubborn as fuck in my ways. TJ's stubborn as fuck in his ways. We've worked together for over a decade now, so clearly we found a way around that shit. And last night's argument was not that big of a fucking deal. Like, I think it looked like a bigger deal to other people than it really was. It was a fucking argument that ended up being pretty fucking entertaining for people, right? We fight like brothers. Well, I won't make a brotherhood claim, but I never had any brothers. But I've known these guys and worked very, very closely with them, not just on the show, but in each other's heads on the show for over a decade. So I feel very, very like, I feel a lot of like family energy for them. I love them, you know? Yeah, I never had any brothers. I don't know how brothers work. I really don't. I don't know how that's a human relationship that I literally never experienced even once. Not even briefly. So I don't know what that is like. I do know what family and friends are like, and I consider these guys to be my family and my friends. You know, my extended family, my very, very good friends, and my partners. So we argue, we bicker in different ways and in various different configurations, but ultimately, at the end of the day, I think we all love each other. I know I love them. And they both told me that they love me, and I think they're being honest about that. I think they're being truthful about that. So that's really what it comes down to. It's differing perspectives. Where TJ said too, Paul's got a lot more piss and vinegar lately, and that's true. I do got a lot more piss and vinegar lately. I am being a little bit more edgy or like quick to fucking confront things. But I think that's been a long time coming for me. I think me sitting back and being passive and kind of letting people wipe their feet on me has made me a little bit, you could put a chip on my shoulder maybe. But maybe that needed to happen. Maybe I needed to be a little more assertive. But the truth of the matter is that, you know, like I said, I love those dudes. I love TJ. I want to give him a big old fucking hug. And that's that. We're going to watch a movie tonight called Dull Man. About a dude from another planet or something that comes to Earth and he's only 13 inches tall. But he's got to save the world. So we're going to watch that tonight. That'll be fun for the patrons. Or for the merch tier. They'll get to watch it live with us, and then the patrons will get it later. You know, that's like fun, right? That's not like we're going to sit and argue and bicker at each other. We're going to sit and bicker at a movie. 2015, Paul is back. I don't think of myself as in eras.
It's a lot different then too.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, if you were to talk about 2015 Paul is never coming back. 2015 Paul is dead as a doornail. He's as gone can be. That person doesn't exist anymore. Not saying I'm accurate, just my read on things. Sure, I mean it appears that way. I've got a similar energy that I had in 2015 to you. I get it, but that
was more of a desperation to hold on to this brand new thing that you had.
I don't know about desperation, but it was definitely dedication. It was like, I will do whatever I fucking want. Yeah. They want me to submerge my head in a bucket of Elmer's glue till I pass out. I'll do it. They want me to take a rubber bullet to the chest. I'll do it. They want to stun gun me. I'll do it. They want to humiliate me in front of fucking hundreds of thousands of people by stripping me off and putting fucking clips on my nipples and having a dominatrix spanks me. I'm doing it. I'm here for it. I'm not letting that go. I'm not letting that suck. I'm not letting my contribution to that suck. So that was the driving energy then. The driving energy now is a little different, but it's still the same. I still have that. I don't want my shit to suck. I don't want people to be bored. I don't want it to be low energy and shitty. I want it to be timely and predictably on time. And I want it to be fucking fresh and funny. And I want it to pop, you know?
That might lead to a more fruitful discussion later behind the
Maybe.
scenes.
Maybe so.
Maybe there's a better way to do it.
I think there's a number of better ways to do it.
Yeah.
So the way they bullied you at the start was partially kayfabe and real? No, it was real. I mean, I don't think of it as bullying. I think of it as more like hazing, right? Which I guess is another word for bullying, but it was more like hazing. It was like, here's the new guy on the show. We're going to give him shit. You're going to earn your place here. We're not going to put you up on the pedestal that the fucking audience wants us to. The audience loves you and is begging for more of you, but we are going to make you go through the fucking ringer and see that you've got what it takes to hang on the show. That's how I took it, and that's how I took it. That's what I did with it. Well, you can be too opinionated too, of course. Who can't be? Especially a person like me.
You want me to make anything else?
No, I'm doing just fine, baby. Thank you. Did you see that Michael Napson got caught in a predator poacher sting? I don't know who that is. Who's Michael Napson? Your beard and fresh don't go together, though. Huh? My beard is hella fresh, though. Dude, it smells like fucking beautiful shampoo. And a little bit like weed. Dude, that's fresh as fuck. It's fresh as a daisy. Bro, the show without you just isn't the show, bro. It's cool. I appreciate that. I don't think I'm the glue. I think the glue is all three of us. Is there a way to submit news stories to Onion Nuggets? Yes. Become a patron. Patrons get a thread where they get to do suggestions for the Onion Nuggets. If there's news stories and stuff they want us to cover, that's what we do it. Sucks, but yeah. You want input? Become a patron. My boy Jack Black. Dude, I wish I could sing like Jack Black. Jack Black has got a great voice. And he's got great energy around him too. I don't think I've got that spark. Got a wonderful voice and like just a great like manic energy about him that's like infectious and fun. I wouldn't take that predator hunting for clout people serious. That's how we got Mama Max. Yeah, I know. The whole like fucking like sexual morality police that are running around and empowering themselves and shit is fucking retarded. And methinks the folks doth protest a bit much. You're not meant for kids. No. No, kids aren't allowed here. You're not a kid, are you? Flaming K, you wouldn't be underage, would you? You know, even though I hit the button that says not made for kids, truth of the matter is, we support kids here. We support kids here. So if you're under the age of 18, throw up some hearts in the chat right now. Represent Gen Z, represent Gen Alpha. Throw it up. Under 18, let's see it. Throw up those heart emojis in the chat right now if you're under the age of 18. We really, really, really want to see you. Love to see that the kids are out there listening. Love to see that the kids are out there doing their thing. Throw up those heart emojis. Come on, y'all. Throw up those heart emojis. Nobody today, huh? Maybe it's... I got to come up with a new way of doing it. I think they're wise now. Yeah, don't do it, Brianna. You're going to get fired. You're going to get banned if you do it. I know you're not under 18, so don't do it. You will get nuked. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday to you. Cheers. What happened to the PFP rule? It's hard to enforce that when you got like 150 brand new people coming every day. Oh, there's one. Took a little second, but we got it. We always get at least one. Oh yeah, dude. One of the new mods is gonna see Brianna throw up those hearts one day, and they're gonna fucking nuke. They're gonna drop the nukes. Greetings, young Paul. Greetings, young man. Oh, an Eagles fan? Bro. Not the Eagles, man. No. Come over to the fucking Raiders side. Okay? We welcome you. You ex-Eagles, you ex-49ers, you ex-Rams, okay? You ex-Steelers. We welcome you with open arms, okay, into the Raider Nation. All you have to do is confess with your mouth that the Raiders are your Lord and Savior. And then you will enjoy eternal basedness. Cowboys? Oh my God, no. No. Not the Cowboys though, bro. Not the Cowboys. Raiders are cool. It's fun to be the bad guys. Just win, baby. We're not the bad guys. We just win. We just have a different philosophy, okay? It's not about playing the game right. It's about winning the game, okay? Winning the game. Fuck the boys. Cowboys. Cowboys haven't been good since Emmitt Smith retired. Okay, the last good Cowboy was Emmitt Smith back in the fucking late 90s, early 2000s. Running back, Emmitt Smith. It's the last decent Cowboy. You don't even know, see? You don't even know who Emmitt Smith was. Emmitt Smith was the only fucking Cowboy worth mentioning. Bills Mafia? Bro, don't even talk to me, bro. The Buffalo Bills, bro? Whew, imagine. The shame of it all. The shame of it all. I used to work for the Cowboys. Cool. Emmitt was my favorite. Emmitt was everybody's favorite. He was the only reason to be a Cowboy fan. Emmitt Smith, dude. That dude was a fucking wrecking ball. Not quite as good as the greatest fucking running back of all time, though. You guys know the name of the greatest running back of all time, right? Because he knows. He knows. He knows you. Do you know him? Mm-mm. Not Barry Sanders. No, sir. No, sir. He's up there. And Barry Sanders in the conversation. You know who. He knows. Bo knows. Yeah. Bo knows being a running back. Bo knows football. Bo Jackson, bitch. The greatest to ever fucking do it. I saw something when I was fucking 8 years old that I will never forget, bro. Bo Jackson gets dogpiled, right? He takes it up the gut, right? He takes a fucking draw and he goes up the gut and he gets dogpiled by the line, right? And you think he's down. This motherfucker came scrambling out the other end of it with the ball and ran for a touchdown. I never saw anything like that in my life. Bo knows. Bo knows football. Okay? I have his Raiders throwback jersey, so do I. I've got a throwback Bo. If you're a Raiders fan, you probably have a throwback Bo. And if you don't, you probably should get a throwback Bo. They're expensive, but they're worth having as a Raiders fan. I've got a throwback Bo. I think that's the Cali talking. It might be. It might be. I haven't been to the Oregon Mushroom Festival, so I don't know it, bro. Couldn't tell you. Bo knows. Bo knows football. I do think it's cool the Raiders are in Vegas now because it reminds me of Fallout New Vegas. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Is like a lot of people are like, oh, Raiders fans seething, mauling, coping because they think it's a Cali thing. It's not a Cali thing. It's a Raiders thing. The Raiders could go to fucking Poughkeepsie, Illinois. I don't give a fuck where they're at. I'm a Raiders fan. You know me, I'm a Cali apologist. But I think a lot of people mistake, like, Raiders super fandom for a Cali thing. It's not a Cali thing, dude. It's a Raiders thing. I feel like a Paul's ego ex Paul Stamets conversation, maybe. What sports did he play? He played baseball and football. Yeah, like Michael Jordan did it, but with no success. Bo played baseball and football, and he was good at both. Michael Jordan played basketball and baseball, and he sucked at baseball. Won't shit talk Oakland, but the boys is a family tradition for me. Well, then I'll give you a pass then, because the Raiders is a family tradition for me. It was passed to me. I didn't choose to rhyme. Ryman chose me. Okay? So I give you a pass on that then. I understand that. MJ sucked on the Wizards too. He did. He was done. Patrick Mahomes was drafted to MLB but declined. Yeah, Mahomes. Like, I believe that there are a lot of people, typically like quarterback types or receiver types, that could play multiple sports. I think your scrambling kind of quarterbacks and your super fast receiver types and your tight ends could do really well most of the time in baseball, as long as they can get on base, right? You got a fast guy, a guy that could be like a Willie Mays Hayes, you know what I mean? You got a fast dude that can steal bases, can hit bases quick. That's a fucking thing. You just got to get him on base, right? So you watch basketball. I don't really watch any sports. I'll be honest with you. We're having a whole ass fucking sports conversation now, but yeah, I'm not a sporto guy. Like, I'll watch a Raiders game every once in a while. I'll watch the Super Bowl every once in a while. This last year, I didn't even watch the Super Bowl, though. I didn't give a fuck. So, yeah. Dan Marino. Yeah, dude, the Dolphins. Dan Marino was fucking great. He definitely, like, top 5 quarterbacks of all time, and nobody ever mentions him. Like, he never hits the top 5, but he's top 5 for sure. Dan Marino was tight. Moved to hockey, never get to see my football team win. Yeah, I'm the same, bro. You know the Raiders, they don't win. So, I mean, we want to win, but... And then, like, basketball, I'd probably still be watching basketball, but my team fucked up. Like, my Charlotte Hornets got fucking, I don't know what they turned into, but, like, I was a fan of that logo. Well, and that team, the 90s team, Muggsy Bogues, Larry Johnson, and fucking Alonzo Mourning. Like, that trio was fucking unstoppable, bro. They were great. Super dynamic team to watch. And so I'm a Charlotte Hornets fan, but the Charlotte fucking Hornets don't exist anymore. Or they didn't exist for a long time, and I lost interest. Let's put it that way. Dan Marino never won a Super Bowl. I know, it's a shame. Like the Bulls or Celtics? Eh. No, I was a Charlotte Hornets fan. They were in Charlotte when I was a fan. I don't really care where they go city-wise, but the fact that they like switched up and fucking started sucking. So yeah, I'm not a big basketball guy though. Not anymore. I used to be. High school, I watched basketball all the time. Played it too. Played like pickup games, a half court all the time. Oh, Jesus. Anyway, women's basketball is getting big. Is it though? Is it really? Maybe it is. It's about time. The WNBA has been a thing forever. It's about time people started paying attention. Baseball is like fucking watching paint dry, watching it on TV. But I agree, dude. Being in the stadium with a hot dog and a beer and fucking couple buddies, dude, it's hard to beat that. Like that crowd energy is great, and the spectacle of it is great, and you get to see everything, like bird's eye view of everything. I feel that way about most sports, to be frank with you. Like, if I don't have, like, I won't, the reason I don't watch football is because if I don't have somebody to root for, i.e. the Raiders, I don't care to watch the game, right? And the game, I think football is kind of a tedious fucking game. The way it just like fucking sometimes is just so slow, and you're measuring progress in inches, and you're like, you know what I mean? Like, it gets really fucking tedious. But when you're in that, dude, I've been privileged enough to go to 3 Oco Stadium Raiders games prior to them moving. Not 1, not 2, but 3 times in my life I've gotten to experience the energy of a packed, sold out Oco Stadium. And I gotta tell you guys, there's nothing else in the world. Like, you can't compare it to anything else, bro. The feeling of like brotherhood bordering on warlike frenzy is something I've never experienced in my life, other than those 3 times. You show up to a fucking home Raiders game, at least back in the day. I don't know how they are in Vegas, but you show up to a home Raiders game at Oco Stadium, which is Oakland Coliseum. It's just run down fucking shithole of a stadium, bro. It's a shitty place, right? Broken, busted, stinky, right? And it's filled with rabid fucking Raiders fans. And anybody that has the balls to show up in some other team's fucking shirt sitting across and make their way past some Raiders, they're going to get fucked up. They're going to get drenched with beer. They're going to get shit thrown at them. They're going to get fucking picked on and fought. And you feel that energy, right? I mean, it doesn't help that you're drunk as fuck. You're drunk. Everybody around you is looking at you like you're their brother and compatriot. You see somebody wearing the wrong jersey and you're like, boo, get out of here, motherfucker. And that energy just carries you, bro. That's an experience. That's an experience like nothing else on this planet for me. I mean, I guess maybe soldiers feel that when they're in war. I don't know what it is, man, but there's something about your aggressiveness level is just rewarded in that environment. Cowboy Stadium is awesome, but watching a game there sucks. The huge screen. Yeah. They've got a nice stadium, but like, I've heard that, dude. There's nothing. I've actually heard other people say, like, growing up in California, I know a lot of fucking fans of other teams. There's a lot of Cali teams, right? You got the Chargers, you got the fucking Rams, at least for a while. They were the LA Rams for a while. You got the Niners, right? And like, oh, I've heard every one of those fans tell me, dude, I fucking hate the Raiders, but there's nothing like a game at Oko. The energy at Oko is fucking unmatched anywhere. And I was like, I've heard, I haven't been to a whole lot of other football games. I have been to a few, but the energy at that stadium was, that's the sad thing about the Raiders moving, because I don't know if that energy is even going to be allowed to carry over to that new fucking stadium they've got. I haven't even been inside it. Watched my dad fight a Raiders fan in Florida. Yeah, I mean, dude, fights, assaults, you know. I'm not even saying it's right. I'm not making, but it's just like that's part of the culture there. Part of the culture was you got to be a little rough and tumble if you're going to come sit in this audience. And there's something about it that carries you. I'm not a rough and tumble kind of guy, really. But when you're in that audience, you become one. The alcohol, the heady nature of it. You're at home with a bunch of people you don't know, but they know you. They know your soul. It's crazy. Yep, 150K fans deep, volcanic level energy. I haven't been to the Buckeye Stadium, but I've heard. I've never really been to a college game, but that is where I see the energy matched and sometimes exceeded. It's a different kind of energy, bro. Yeah, I wouldn't say that the energy at fucking Oko was volcanic. I would say that it was uh, warlike. It was more like conflict based. That just like everybody's wearing the right color shirt and everybody's blowing up at the same time type of energy. You didn't get that at fucking Oko. I've only seen that on TV, bro. And yeah, dude, when it comes to that kind of energy, it seems like college sports has that locked down in America. That and like the Super Bowl or whatever, right? Maybe soccer as well. I couldn't get into fucking European football. I used to play it when I was a kid. I enjoyed playing it, but like watching it is like watching paint dry for me. But those audiences are fucking crazy, bro. You guys seen like a South American soccer audience? I watched this guy named Kurt something. He's a South American guy, travels all around the world and goes, and like his thing is he goes places where they tell tourists like don't go here, to like the favelas in Rio de Janeiro or like bad parts of town. And he ended up at a soccer match in Medellin, Colombia. And it was fucking like nothing I've ever seen, bro. Like the whole stadium was just rumbling. People, it was like they were trying to tear the fucking thing down. And it was over like a local low-level qualifier match or some shit. Yeah, I know that's true. Like I won't even front to you guys and tell you that the Oko energy even comes close to like this like soccer hooligan energy that you see in like South America and Europe, Africa. Like that type of shit is all on a different level. I've never experienced that. That's like true frenzy. I would say that in comparison, like an Oko game would be like controlled warlike aggression, barely controlled warlike aggression. I would say that like some of these football games that I've seen, like European football games I've seen, it's like a fucking riot happening before, during, and after. Yeah. I've seen them chanting like, so and so is a cunt, so and so is a cunt, so and so fucks his mom, so and so fucks his mom. So I've seen them do it, dude. It's fucked up. Yeah, I'd say an Oko game was loosely controlled, loosely constrained, violent rage. And I would say a fucking European football game is straight up fucking crowd riot chaos. But those types of people, like we're talking soccer hooligans, they exist in American culture. They're here. They're just not as much. Like, okay, if you went to an old Oko game, I don't know how it works, but there was a spot in Oko Stadium that it was really not advisable that you go to. It was called the Black Hole. It's the end zone spot. This was filled with the craziest, most violent fans. It's the one that got on the news a lot because people would dress up, paint up, have big skull masks on, big spikes, shoulder pads. But if you, as a casual football fan, bought a ticket within the radius around the Black Hole, you were going to have a horrible fucking time, bro. You were probably going to get your ass beat. The energy in that place, in that part of Oko Stadium, was legend. Legend. You didn't go in it. You didn't go near it. You're not a tourist there. You come strapped up for battle if you go in the Black Hole, right? And it's not even like war type battle. It is like fucking fervor battle, right? You better be bringing the heat in the Black Hole, because if you're not, they're going to beat you fucking up and kick you out. Get out of here, fucking rookie. ...2006 football hooligans helped overthrow the government in Hungary. So many, yeah, dude. See, that's crazy. That's there'll be like a riot sometimes when there's a big like college championship match that like sometimes the college kids will go out, they'll flip a car, or they'll like, jump all over a police car or something, bust it up, right? But like in Europe, they'll burn down the fucking city, bro. They don't give a fuck over there. Cops just get out of the way over there. They're like, well, nothing we can do. Gotta let them get it out of their systems, eh? Have a point. They look in the trash for something to eat. They find a dead rat and they think it's a treat in the Liverpool slums. Hearing that sung as a kid blew my mind. And how many dudes singing that loud? They look in the trash for something to eat. They find a dead rat and they think it's a treat. You guys are sick. You Brits are sick fucks. I like it. I like that, Holmes. I like that. You guys are sick in the right way, and I like that. They look in the trash for something to eat. They find a dead rat. They think it's a treat. Got them. Football is a way of life for a decent amount of Europeans. Don't know if it's the same. Yeah, I mean, there are like people that live and breathe football, basketball, fucking soccer. They exist here, but the culture isn't unified here. It's a small subculture here. And it's part of you guys' like monoculture in Europe, Africa, and South America, and Australia, right? That this culture is just huge there, and it exists here, and we have our own sports that are every bit as big, maybe not every bit as big, but that rival bigness in our culture to your, World Cup or whatever, right? But that culture never solidified into huge numbers. Like it's a side thing for us. Like like I said, there are a few true believers. There are a few like diehards that are just living and breathing American football, living and breathing American basketball, living and breathing American racing or whatever the fuck, right? But it's nothing, like I will not lie to you. It is nowhere near anything like what I've seen in Europe. It doesn't even come close. Like you guys have got that shit on lockdown. Well, Europe, like I said, the rest of the world has that on lockdown. There are more Rick and Morty fans than soccer fans in this country. Yeah. Soccer, we call it soccer. You guys call it football, right? Soccer here is niche. There are fans of it, and quite a few of them. But it is considered by the wider culture to be a very niche sport to be into. It's like quaint. When you find out somebody's into soccer, it's like, oh, how cute. You're a soccer guy. And like you go to Europe and it's like the other way around, right? We Brits have cricket, and only us in the former colonies, we spread it to care about it. Yeah, that's true. Similar with hockey. Hockey's a little more popular, but not as much. Well, you go over the northern border in America, though, you get into Canada, and hockey, like, there are hockey hooligans, right? Am I wrong, Canadians? Like, there's like hockey game riots and shit sometimes up there, right? I know we got a couple Canucks in here. Am I wrong about that? Is it pretty chill now, hockey? Because I remember seeing some shit, like, when I was a kid, like hockey fights breaking out in the goddamn fucking thing, and then it's busts out in the audience and shit. Yeah. Like I've seen that shit, bro. Yeah, people start punching it up on the ice, which is fun, right? And then they'll pan to the audience, and there's like a riot going on in the audience and shit. Hockey is still huge in the culture. See what I mean? So it's just like, I think America, the closest thing we have to that is football, NFL football, and college football, right? And I don't think that it reaches that level culturally that it does in other cultures. Does China have a sports culture? Like, do they have a rabid soccer following or anything? I don't know much. Do you guys know? Paul! Paul! What do you want? I think Florida just won the Stanley Cup. Oh my God. That has to hurt. That's gotta suck. Dude, there's no ice in Florida, dude. That's gotta suck. China is cricket, is it? It's a time when boxing in America was bigger than football and baseball. That is true. It was before my time, but it was not much before my time. And I will tell you this, I grew up in the 80s and the 90s. I was born in 1980. And so I have a lot of memories from the mid 80s and all the way through the 90s. And it was it was like Super Bowl level cultural event when Mike Tyson would fight. When there was a heavyweight championship boxing match, people would pay like $100 for and that's back in the day. They'd pay like 70 or $100 for the pay-per-view. And they'd get everybody together. The thing is, my Aunt Barbara had the black box. It was a descrambler box, illegal descrambler. So we got all the pay-per-view shit for free. And it was a huge event in my family and in my broader like culture when there was a heavyweight fight. People would get together, fucking everybody, every living room was packed, right? And that just isn't like, when's the last time you even like heard about a big giant cultural heavyweight fight? You gonna watch him destroy Jake Paul? Probably not, man, because I think it's a work. I think Jake Paul's gonna take a fall. I think it's a planned fight. Jake Paul is a wrestler. I think it's a fucking planned fight, bro. I think Jake Paul is gonna bust him up a little bit, get busted up a little bit, and he's gonna let Tyson get a dub. And I don't want to pay for that. I want to see Tyson actually rock this little motherfucker's socks. If that's what was going on, if I believed the shit talk was real, and that Mike was gonna come off the chain at this kid, I think that fucking Jake Paul I think he's gonna stand up to Mike, and Mike is fucking gonna pull punches, and so is Jake, and they're gonna make a little dance, and then at a predetermined time, Mike Tyson's gonna land a couple fucking big chin music hits and knock him out. I didn't mean to turn this into sports talk, me and my Cowboys. That's cool. We talk about whatever we want here, so it's not a bad topic. I'm just not a huge sports guy, but sportos, you know, when they'd like to talk. I do watch sports. I come from a culture that likes sports, so, you know, I know I can talk about it. Paul versus Scotty at WrestleMania. Dude, my dad is fucking hilarious. My dad watched that, and he was like, boy, he was like, you need to You and Scotty need to fucking capitalize on this. The fight, the argument me and Scotty had where we got all brawling with each other. He's like, you guys need to capitalize on this, boy. And I was like, how, Daddy? He said, you guys got to make a fight like you said you was gonna. Have all your fans show up, right? You guys come out and you're doing a fight, right? You hitting on each other, you beating on each other, and everybody's screaming and yelling, and then Trump, you got somebody dressed like Trump. Trump comes in, he kicks both of your asses. And I was like, why is Trump? He's like, because I heard how you guys are talking about Trump. That's all I'm going to say. So I think that's what y'all should do. Two of you fight, and then Trump comes and whoops both of your asses. I was like, all right, Daddy, we'll think about it. I'll take that under advisement, Daddy. It actually would be pretty funny. Oh my God, Trump with the steel chair. You know, that would be pretty fucking funny. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you it wouldn't be. Yeah, it is public if you want to go watch it. It's called The Road to the Nuntlet. It's on the Onion Nuggets channel, or not, the Deep Fat Fried channel. It's called The Road to the Trump Gauntlet, I think is what it's called. I'd see that for $1. Yeah, I figured you would. Trump with a dump in his trunk. I'm like Donald Trump with a dump in his trunk. That's a Beauregard lyric right there. I'd like Donald Trump with a dump in his trunk, playing all that deep funk, blowing off ropes of spunk. Beauregard is in there. He wants to come out again, man. Beauregard Bumpins, man. He's in there. I'd see that for $1. By God, Biden's uppers have started to kick in. Oh, Lord, it's Biden. He looks pretty tired, though. Wait a minute, there's a doctor. They're giving him a shot. Oh, my God, he's ripped his shirt off. He's all jacked up. Yeah, maybe Biden could do a run-in, too. And then, like, gorilla at the end, right? That would be funny. Maybe Dad's onto something. Oh my God, it's gorilla. It's gorilla. Biden needs to take the meth addiction out of Hitler's book. Yeah, I mean, I think he has, dude. I think he has taken that out of Hitler's book. Have you seen, dude? Like, go watch the State of the Union from this year. My guy. Oh. Biden was jacked up. Biden was all the way methed out, bro. He fucking was tooted out. Jack. It's like, what? What did he say? Like 90 minutes? Have you noticed his stranger level of energy lately? He's microdosing meth. No, I know. Both he and Trump are. The sweats, the Trump sweats have gotten real bad. So they're shooting both of these fucking old men up on something. That's why I'm saying, dude, we are 7 days. No, we're not 7 days. But we are, how many days is it? So it's today's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're 6 days. We are 6 days from when these two men are scheduled. I'm going to make a prediction right now. So I want you guys to tune in on this, all right? This is a Paul Stradamus prediction. Okay? Get ready for it. Listen up. Paul Stradamus prediction coming in. So we are 6 days as of right now from when these two men are supposed to face off against each other. Have you read the rules? We read the rules last night on the show. Let me bring it up. No audience, which is whatever. That sucks for Trump. Trump feeds on that audience energy. No audience. No notes. No prepared statements. No teleprompters. Okay? Nothing but a pen and a piece of paper. No earpiece. So these men are both going to be off the dome. That's the rules. For 90 minutes. So, the Paul Stradamus prediction is this. Early next week, Monday or Tuesday, you're going to see the first signs of trouble. Trump is going to probably say some shit like, the restrictions of this debate are ridiculous. And if they think they're going to get me gaffled up into something that makes Joe Biden look good and me look bad, they're wrong. You're going to start seeing some shit like that. I think it's going to start with the Trump campaign. But maybe I'm wrong about that. But I am telling you. Early in the week, next week, when we start counting down the fucking hours to this debate, we're going to see a maneuver from one or both campaigns to back out, bow out of this campaign, of this debate. Okay? Neither one of these fucking campaigns wants these old men out in front of people for 90 minutes. It could be disastrous for both campaigns. It could be disastrous for one campaign. They know this. They know that if Biden loses time and has a senior moment in the middle of this and somebody has to come out and wake him up, right? He loses. It's over for him. They know that if Trump goes off on a fucking tangent and starts flop sweating and he talks about sharks for his 10 minutes, shark attacks like he did the other day, they know he loses. Neither one of these campaigns thinks their guy can win it. They know they have everything to lose and very little to gain. It's not happening. It's not happening. So look for early next week, Monday, Tuesday at the latest, for one of these campaigns to pull out. And they will blame each other for the pullout. Whoever it is that goes, I'm not going, will say, I'm not going because Biden changed the rules. Or, I'm not going because Donald Trump is not a serious candidate. It'll be something like that. They're not doing it. It's not happening. Now, if it does, it does. It's going to be a fucking spectacle, and we will be live covering it. We will be streaming it live. Probably for our patrons, though, because CNN is pretty litigious. I think it's going to be the Trump campaign. I think this whole lead up to it has been like the Mexican standoff. Because here's why I think it's gone on this long. I think both campaigns know that one of them is going to pull out, and they know that the momentum is going to be with the campaign that didn't pull out, and so they're waiting. They're doing the Mexican standoff right now. Like, you pull the trigger, motherfucker. You take your old man out. Because our old man's staying in. No, our old man's staying in. You take your old man out. It's that. But as it gets closer to becoming an actual thing, there's going to be. And look, Trump, the reason I think it's Trump is because I think he has the better chance of spinning it into a power move. He'll just say, like, CNN and Joe Biden thought they were going to trick Donald Trump. Do you believe that, folks? Do you believe that, folks? They thought they were going to trick Donald Trump. But Donald Trump doesn't get tricked. No, Donald Trump doesn't get tricked. It's going to be that. And everybody's going to be like, yeah, FJB, FJB, FJB. That's right. That's right. Running scared. Running scared. Come on. And I think, by the way, that the Biden campaign knows this. Maybe I am about to pay the Kirks. Maybe I am. I'm ready, because either way, like, yeah, it's gonna suck. That's a lot of money. Like, I don't want to pay them fucking $200. I really don't. But ultimately, I don't think I'm paying it. I think they're paying me. Nice. I like you and the Donald. Don't hate me, Paul. I don't hate you. I think it's a little silly that you like the Donald, but whatever, bro. Trump has it mapped out like a chessboard and has something off the cuff anyway if it goes on. Oh, dude. I don't know. See, that's the thing, is like, if you put Trump in 2016, if that was the Trump going on stage, I'd be like, oh, fucking Biden's going to get eviscerated. But Trump has lost about 10 steps, too. Trump is fucking a reapy-doo-ah. Well, rippy-doo-ah. Well, rippy-doo-ah. He's off on fucking planet Zordon, bro. You mentioned their God, and they show up. Yeah. Will proper, courteous political debates between candidates ever make a return? No. It is my contention that if there is a debate, this is the last time. As soon as Donald Trump started to just go like, I'm not going to that fucking debate, I was like, well, it's over. Neither of these, like, the debates only serve people. They don't serve candidates. Gaffes, gotchas, October surprises revealed on stage. Trump killed it. When Trump, let me tell you when I knew debates were over, really. And you guys have to remember this, right? You guys remember 2016. Trump and Hillary are having a debate. And it's Trump's turn, and he goes, I'm joined here by many women who were victimized by this woman's husband, women that were raped, women that were exploited by her husband. And it pans out to the audience, and all of the women that have made rape accusations against Bill Clinton, or most of them, are there. That moment is when debates ended. That moment is when campaigns realize that a debate is nothing but a giant liability. I'm sorry, I think that I might have smoked the last one out here, baby. I'm sorry about that. You'd be in jail. I mean, the whole fucking thing was such a rout for her that I don't think that they've really been comfortable with the idea of debate since. I think they've been looking for a way to kill the cultural tradition of debate. And I think they're going to use it for this. I think that the time is now. Once again, early next week, look for one or both of the campaigns to waffle very early. And by the time it's go time, look for somebody not to be at the showdown. There's no way either one of these campaigns sees something to gain from this. Joe Biden off the cuff for 90 minutes is going to be a nightmare. Trump off the cuff for 90 minutes is going to be a nightmare. They both know it. Both campaigns know it. Both campaigns know they have more to lose than to gain. Here, I'm gonna do this, baby. I'm just gonna set it down so I don't fuck it up.
Yeah.
There we go. See? We're good. I got you, honey. I'll be your shade when it's hot. I'll be your cool breeze.
It's gonna be up to 107 today, so I don't know how longer you're gonna be able to hang.
107. Dude, I was reading a story while I was taking a poo-poo this morning that was like, this is spooky. You know the heat wave that's gone on like in what we consider to be the east of the globe? So like east of us in the United States, and then Europe, India, North Africa, the Middle East, etc., is experiencing a historic heat wave right now. Like not just a heat wave, but like it's 105 in India, and it goes down to 102 at night with 80% humidity. People are dying. So there's like, I can't remember what the name of it was, like Eid al-Fitr or something, where like Muslims do a pilgrimage, and people are just dropping dead on the road. People are dropping dead in Mecca. Like, it is historic there. And it comes on the heels of a bunch of predictions because El Nino ended, which usually heralds cooling temperatures. El Nino creates hot tropical temperatures, right? And El Nino is over as of this year. It's dissipated. And we're going into La Nina, which is colder temperatures, etc. But it's not happening. Even though El Nino conditions have dissipated, the heat domes have gotten worse. Eid al-Fitr, is that what it is? What state do you live in again? California. It's 107 degrees in the Central Valley of California today. And it will probably be 107 degrees for the next week or two.
Yeah. It's not unfamiliar to us.
No, but it is new for this area. I grew up in this area, and you probably had maybe 5 or 6 days in a summer that got over 100 when I was a kid. Most days, high 80s, low to mid 90s. That was the summer here when I was a child. A summer here now is high 90s to 105, 110
For weeks on
for months. Like literally June, July, and August will be that. '89 where I am right now. I don't know what it is right now where we are. It's almost 10 a.m. What is it right now?
87 right now.
It's 87 now.
Up to
Yeah, it's going to be 107. It's not high noon yet. We're still in the morning here. So it's 9:43 a.m. and it's already 87.
Yep.
Yep. I just got here. Are you in Phoenix? I'm in California. I'm in Fresno, California, Central Valley. Right smack dab in the middle of the state. So yeah, it's still like late morning here. It's still like breakfast time for people on a Saturday here, and it's already pushing 90. It'll be 90 in a couple of fucking minutes. Won't take long. And it's going to be 107 by noon. You guys will see it happen too. I got a couple of like hours left on this. I don't know if I'll do all both, but you guys will see. Right now I've got a little misting of like, I'm not sweaty, I'm not hot, I'm not uncomfortable. There's a little breeze. I will tell you that this knee that's in the sun wants to not be there. If I were sitting in the sun right now, I'd be done.
Yeah, there's certain temperatures you just have to be in the shade.
Yep. People are dropping dead. In America, on the East Coast, they're breaking records. East Coast and the Midwest right now are breaking records for their hottest early season heat wave. People are just dropping dead. What does fatwa mean? A fatwa, if you put those words together, is an Islamic screed. It's like an Islamic religious screed. If you're going to deliver a fatwa, it's like a call to Islam to act. You must rise up. I think it's a funny way of saying rant. And I also think it's funny because it has fat in it. So I called this fatwa. See? Because I'm issuing a fatwa. Right. It's a Muslim call to action. The Central Valley is the worst place to live weather-wise in California. No, that is not true. I would say that places like Barstow and Death Valley in particular are worse. But that is, of course, an extreme example. But yes, weather-wise and air quality-wise, it doesn't get worse than this area. The air quality is going to be horrible, horrible, unbelievable today. Yeah, Death Valley has broken its own record every year in a row for like 10 years. And it broke it already this year, and it's early in the season. So the world's burning, guys. We're all dead. I've read about 2/3 of the Quran so far. There are some interesting things in there for sure. I have read about the same amount of the Quran, I would imagine. I have not read it cover to cover. I would like to, though. I was telling Amelia the other day, I want to get these holy books. I've read the Bible. I don't need one of those, but I'd like to get the I Ching. I'd like to get the Quran. I would like to get the Bhagavad Gita. Can you think of any others? Holy book wise? Mm-mm. The Quran. I want to read Syed Qutb's work. Yeah, you can get it. Syed Qutb wrote on the Muslim idea of Jahiliyyah, which is like a Western state of ignorance, like a Western state of ignorance of the commands of Allah. So Syed Qutb believed that America was a sign of decadence and a violation of the will of Allah. And when he went back to his country and saw that that type of thing was spreading, that type of idea was spreading there, Syed Qutb started to write on the concept of Jahiliyyah. And he saw it infecting what he saw as Muslim countries. Yeah, Jahiliyyah was another word for the Western decadence that he saw infecting his countries. And then U.S. state-backed military coup thugs abducted Syed Qutb as a religious radical or whatever. He had done no wrong at this point. And they put him in a prison and tortured him to the point of almost death. He had a heart attack. They were doing dog torture with him, where they would strip him naked and strap him to a wall so he couldn't get away or defend himself. And then they would bring a guard dog in and hold it just back, and they would let it go towards his genitals and his face, and they'd let it get this close to him. He was an academic, yeah. And he had a heart attack. Syed Qutb is his name. He had a heart attack in prison due to the torture. And when he was released, he was no longer an academic, he was a radical. And he founded the Muslim Brotherhood, which became Al-Qaeda, which became ISIS, right? So pretty interesting shit. And it's like a history that nobody knows, right? Like, this man had some radical ideas, but then he was gaffled up into the whirlwind of the system that he was criticizing and almost killed for it. But almost killing him gave him a rebirth. He had nothing to lose anymore. They had stripped him of what little humanity was keeping him from being violent, and he founded a violent revolutionary organization that directly or indirectly was connected to the Twin Towers falling on 9/11/2001 and the Pentagon burning and a smoldering ruin that used to be a group of people in Pennsylvania. It's interesting to know the etymology of things. It's interesting to know the history of things. I just explained it. You can rewind. I explained what fatwa means. Sheikh Paul's ego delivers a sermon. Yeah, a fatwa. A lot of people don't know the name Syed Qutb. I learned the name Syed Qutb from a documentary by Adam Curtis called The Power of Nightmares. It's a multi-part documentary that covers the shared history of the American neoconservative movement and the Islamic fundamentalist movement. How they fed one another, what they have in common, and how they provided a perfect geopolitical foe to set in motion basically a military coup in the United States. Yeah, you can link it, Phoebes. It's free on YouTube. Syed Qutb is like a figure that he's connective tissue to the Islamist movement. So if you were to try and point at a person responsible for the Islamist movement in the world, in the modern age, it would be Syed Qutb. Yeah, there you go. Phoebes just linked it. You can bookmark that and watch it later. Do you believe drugs can cause permanent brain damage? Yes. Oh, Rapidu? If you watch that documentary, The Power of Nightmares, with an open mind, it will change the way that you think about the recent history of the world. Not just American history, not just Arab history, but the history of the world. I just watched your debate with VG about Palestine. You're cool. Thanks. Feel free to subscribe if you like me. I try and keep the vibes pretty chill, and people seem to like it. Your hair is terrible. I'm sorry you feel that way. But know that you can go forward and not get a haircut like mine, so you don't have to look terrible. I saw this BBC documentary called Hypernormalization that talks about the Middle East a lot. Have you seen it? I have not. I have seen a lot of Adam Curtis documentaries. If you end up going down the Adam Curtis rabbit hole, he has another documentary that I recommend people watch called The 21st Century of the Self. It's a psychological documentary about advertising and psychological manipulation of the masses by the government and by companies. And it will change the way that you think about America and capitalism as well. In that documentary, you will learn a name, Edward Bernays, right? Edward Bernays was the nephew of Sigmund Freud. And he took his uncle's works and he applied them broadly to advertising. So he was faced with a challenge. Smoking. Men smoked in America at one point, but women did not. It was seen as unladylike to smoke. And cigarette companies wanted women to start smoking, obviously. It doubles up their profit. So they hired Edward Bernays to craft an advertising campaign. And Edward Bernays looked around at the nascent kind of women's liberation movement and said, I'm going to make it a freedom thing. I'm going to make it an empowering thing. And so what he did was he organized a huge parade. And he got a bunch of women to dress up like Lady Liberty. All of them, think about it. 1,000 women, right? Dressed up like Lady Liberty, holding the torch of liberty, marching through the middle of Manhattan, right? A big spectacle, people stopping, gawking. And when they got a big crowd gathered and the media had showed up, they all stopped, went into their purses, pulled out a cigarette, and lit it. And took a big drag. And they said, this is our liberty torch. They called cigarettes their liberty torches. Okay? And it was a wild success. It was international news. Look at this, look at this. It caused people to talk. Some people hated it, some people loved it, women loved it. And now women smoke. Thanks, Edward Bernays. How many deaths are on that man's hands? An ancient prejudice has been removed. What was once the purview of only men in society is now the purview of all, women included. Liberty torches. Light them up, ladies. Smoke them if you got them. What was the other big thing he did? Didn't he basically admit to being inspired by the Nazis' propaganda to invent PR? Well, he used that and Freudian psychoanalysis. The iceberg theory of the mind is what he really took. So Freud had an iceberg theory of the mind, right? Your ego is what's above the surface. That's what you show people. Below the surface are your id and your superego, right? Or sorry, your superego and your id. Your superego interlocutes between your ego and your id. And your id is base. Your id is lizard. Your id is child-brained, lizard-brained. I want to have sex with that. I want to eat that. I want to punch that. I want to kill that, right? It's the Freudian iceberg theory of the mind in a basic sense, right? And so Bernays latched onto that. And he said, people have these hidden desires inside of them. They live in a very regimented society, but they all have a deep longing submerged under them for self-expression. They all have a deep longing submerged inside of them to be individuals. How do we get them to connect that longing to be individuals with purchasing a product? Ding! I know. We stop advertising things for durability. And we start advertising things because it'll change your life. Oh, look at this woman. She got the new Flowtech convection oven. And it's no longer a chore to make a meatloaf for the family. She has more time to do what she wants. You see? So he took Freud's psychotherapy ideas, Freud's iceberg theory of the mind, and he convinced the advertising agencies to stop making durable products and to start making products that people thought changed their lives. Get this hair. Get this hair cut. Because if you don't, you're a loser. Get this pimple cream. Because if you don't, you won't get laid. Get this car. Because if you don't, people won't take you seriously. Get this house. Because if you don't, people won't think you're serious or successful. Get this lawn. Because if you don't, people will think you're a loser. You see? That didn't used to be the case. Yep, slip the premise by them. That's what the Nazis did. The Nazis didn't say we need to exterminate the Jews. At least that's not what they started saying. The Nazis said we need to do something about this Jew problem. You see what they've done? They've slipped the premise by you that there's a Jew problem. They've called you to action for a problem you didn't know existed, and they've slipped the premise by you. Jews are a problem? Fuck yeah, we need to do something about this Jew problem. That's what they did. And it's not just politicians that use this, although they slip the premise all the time. It's companies. There are companies out there. I mean, like, look, how many companies out there exist and they show you a advertising campaign or something like that that implies that if you use this, you will be attractive. This will make you attractive. What? They made menthol cigarettes to appeal to women. Now they appeal broadly to everybody. Adam Freeland, we want your soul. Yeah, I haven't heard it. But yeah, most people, and like again, this dude, Edward Bernays, changed the world. He's one of the people most responsible for the modern age, and most people don't know his name. Fuck, I didn't catch it. 3 Hueys. Low flying. 3 Hueys. Kitted out. Missiles and shit on the side, bro. Low flying. They were probably like 200 feet off the ground. Apaches? No. They were not Apaches. They were Hueys. Kitted Hueys. With fucking, maybe they weren't Hueys. I don't know. They were not Apaches, though. Apaches mean. Single rotorcraft, long, military, visible weapons on the chassis. Not mean enough to be an Apache. Kitted out, bro. Doing low fly fucking maneuvers over a neighborhood. Yikes. That's spooky. Blackhawks. Yep, that's what it was. It was 3 Blackhawks. I'd have to look up a picture. I need my other phone. I'm gonna find out what those were. Hold up. I'm sick of fucking guessing. or are you gonna stand? I wouldn't blame you either way. Oh, I need a drink. Dave, I know. Do you want to go back inside, bud? Have you changed your mind? Here, Daddy, help. There you go. It's cool in there, bud. It's cool. All right, we got the phone. I want to see if they were Blackhawks. Blackhawk. Yep. I don't know how well you guys can see it. 3 of these flying low with missile pods on the side, like Hellfire or whatever the fuck missile pods. 3 of these. So Blackhawk. Hopefully they were just training. They do. They do train, yeah. I live about 100 miles and change from Lemoore Naval Air Station, which has the largest collection of helicopters and fighter jets and support craft on the west coast of the United States. So if you watch these, you will hear Fighting Falcons go by in triangle formation or flying V. Sometimes 3, sometimes 6, sometimes 8. But they usually don't do those low fly exercises over neighborhoods. It's very strange that they did that. You will see Blackhawks. You will see, Chinookers, the dual-bladed helicopters. I've never seen an Apache fly low over this neighborhood or any neighborhood. But yeah. But that low fly maneuver is very strange for them to do because it's very disruptive to people in neighborhoods. It's disconcerting. It's something that they will do during wartime to instill a sense of fear and order in a population that's being suppressed. So yeah, low fly maneuvers are very rare. And like urban combat maneuvers is what that was. That is how to fly low over a neighborhood in formation with a team of 3 Hueys, which, by the way, can mount 50 caliber repeating miniguns on the side of them. I'd believe that on the location of flying. That is believable if they're outside of testing zones. Well, I'm just telling you my experience living in this area my whole life. is you see demonstrations and you see training missions, but they have increased in frequency to maybe once a week, or from once a week to almost daily. And that kind of show of force, flying 3 kitted out war machines 300 feet off the top of people's houses in an urban environment, that's like a rare thing for them to run. So what I'm thinking is the unrest in this country that's building as this election gets closer, and the kind of like sectarian violence that seems to be brewing, the kind of Trump v. Biden kind of fervor has them spooked. And they think they might be running riot ops and shit in urban areas. And so Lemoore is testing its fucking helicopters. It's getting its pilots used to low-flying combat maneuvers over an urban environment. That would be my guess. Those are troop carriers. So a Black Hawk is an armored and armed troop carrier. It's a fast troop assault vehicle. So it's loaded up with all kinds of weapons to pacify a general area, and then it sets down very quickly, and a small group of special forces get out of it, right? So 3 of those landing in a neighborhood could pacify an entire fucking neighborhood. Simple and quick. From the air and then from the ground for the sweep up. That's how the military uses the Black Hawk. It is an armored lightning strike troop carrier for small groups of special forces. Riot training or creating the incentive that there may be a riot. Yeah, no, I think they smelled something a brewing. And this area here, by the way, is one of the areas, like, people don't understand that California is not liberal hippy dippy land. This area is deep red. There's a lot of Trump voters here, very proud ones. And if Trump loses or gets convicted on something else or dies or something, right? There's going to be a bunch of people that believe he was killed, murdered, that they stole it from him, and they're doing low flies to see about pacifying an area. 100%. They don't do that type of thing. That's very disruptive to people. Scary as shit. They know the implication of that, the low fly. Like, that's something that people deal with in war zones. So they're very, very reluctant to do that over their own population centers. And now they're just kind of openly doing it. I mean, this is a dense urban area. Nothing but people and children and families living out here. And they just did a 300 fucking foot low fly over this neighborhood with 3 kitted out warplanes, war vehicles. Give me a break. You're sounding like Alex Jones. I'm just telling you what's what. My dad's a military guy. My dad's ex-Army. All of my uncles are Army. One of my uncles served and got the fucking Silver Star in Vietnam. In the shit. I've had a lot of talks with people that know about military shit. I know what low-flying fucking warbirds means. Those people are why I don't advertise my politics with flags or stickers, etc. I don't trust these people not to get crazy. I don't either. I mean, I say what I think out here in the backyard, and I'm sure people hear that shit, but yeah, dude, I ain't got, well, you know, I'm not a fucking Biden voter anyway, so I don't know who I would advertise on my front lawn, but I don't do that shit. It's a drill. It's a training exercise, low-flying fucking a fast assault team in with Black Hawks over an urban area that's destabilized. And they don't run that day to day. They don't run that month to month. They don't even run that year to year. They're running that because they feel something's coming. The warning signs are there. They're watching this shit. They're watching how people talk to each other. They're watching what people are saying online. You know, we covered last night this like political violence poll. You know, they're watching that type of shit. Some like 30% of America feels like political violence is sometimes or always justified. That's fucking crazy number. They're getting ready to pacify any kind of localized or generalized uprising. Some of it I think is theater. Yeah, no. I mean, it's a show of force prior to anything jumping off. Like, let's say you are a person that goes, dude, if they steal it from Trump again, I'm fucking hitting the streets with my gun. Fuck this. Right? You just saw that happen. You just came out of your house and saw 3 kitted out Blackhawks flying low over your neighborhood. What are you thinking? How are you thinking about grabbing up your gun now? You know? So, of course, that's theater, but it's theater with a purpose. It's theater with a message. The message is don't fuck around. L'Amour's right here. Here's a low fly. Here's how we can touch you. Here's one of the ways we can touch you. I'm telling you right now, dude. That'll also trigger some crazies. Like, I'm out here probably sounding paranoid, but think about if you're one of these people that's cloistered up waiting for the end times and you just thought 3 Blackhawks dust your fucking neighborhood. That might bring you out early, and they want that. Show your face now. Start talking that crazy shit we can append to your name. We'll come get you and get your guns before it jumps off. You know what I mean? There's all kinds of reasons, psychologically and otherwise, why they would do what they just did live in front of you guys. It's not just training. They know the implication of what they just did. I just heard fucking sirens, a bunch of them in the distance. I see Trump flags all over South Jersey, and it honestly angers and confuses me. It should. It's crazy. It's crazy talk. End times. I don't preach that bullshit. All times are the end times. We've been walking on a razor's edge our whole existence as human beings. So it's all end times. But let's be frank about it. Like, things are looking pretty bleak. I'll never understand the people that think they're going to rise up and fight the government with their little stash of guns and canned food. Well, that's kind of what that was about, right? That's part of what that was about. Is you might have an arsenal, but look at what we got. That's a fucking battalion of special forces riding in Blackhawks. Double fucking repeaters on the sides. Brrr, turn your house into fucking sawdust. And then land. So what do you think's going to happen? You know? Oh, sorry. I was just texting somebody. Texting my brother-in-law. Anyway. Back to reality. Your son's on crack. And your daughter's got nut stains on her back. And they both fucking smell like shit. and live in the gutter and sell crack to each other. Did your military uncle speak on DJT executive order? Not specifically to me. Not specifically to me. I haven't talked to that particular uncle in about a year. He's not a guy that I see all the time, but I grew up around him. He was around the family a lot more. He just lives kind of far away now. Paul, do you have another channel? Because I swear I was subscribed to you already. Yeah, I had a channel, Paul's Ego, that I started in 2006. It was banned late last year for hate speech, which you can see how ridiculous that is if you've watched me a couple of times. It was just like probably a flagging campaign. Or it might have been shit I said in videos that were, you know, whatever it was. My channel was monetized, and that draws like more attention, which is why this channel isn't monetized, or one of the reasons why. So yeah, this is a side channel that I started for when my other channel was banned or couldn't stream because of a false flag or whatever the fuck, and now it's my main channel. So welcome. Welcome to the poltergeist. Dun, dun, dun. Good chance a particular individual had something to do with that. I don't know, but maybe so. Will you try and return it? I did. I filed a counterclaim. I reached out in every way that they give you, and I was met with nothing but, nope, your channel's banned. Sorry, channel's banned. Like, okay. Yeah, started it when I was 26 years old. I'm 44 now. Had hundreds of videos on it. Hundreds and hundreds of hours of my personal thoughts on things. Gone. I've watched at least 80% of your public content. I've never heard you promoting anything that could be misconstrued as hate speech. Yeah, I know. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's complete bullshit. Like, I don't spew hate speech. I don't spew misinformation. I don't fucking spew violence. I don't break TOS. Like, at least not any more than other people do, right? But certainly not hate speech, TOS. And that's what I was banned for. I was banned for 2 relatively recent but not completely contemporary videos that were flagged down for hate speech. Them not even telling you what you did was such BS, yeah. They flagged down 3 videos that were from like several months before, or 2 videos that were from a couple of months before, and they were fucking 4-hour long live streams that I did on my phone like this. And there was no timestamp to what I said. And I went through those videos. Like, what did I say? Did I fucking... Nope. They were just like normal fucking ideologies. And I was like, okay. So I did the counterclaim, and I said, I went through with a fine-tooth comb, and I didn't find any hate speech in these videos. Please advise me on what I can cut out. You know, and I'll be happy to take the videos down. Nope. The action has been taken. Your channel has been permanently banned. Thank you for reaching out. It's like, okay, whatever. Yeah, I think it was mass reporting. I don't know what it was, to be honest with you, but that's what I think. It wasn't my edgy vaccine takes, though, and I don't really have edgy vaccine takes. My take was they should force people to take fucking vaccines during a pandemic. Like, your bodily autonomy doesn't trump my fucking right to live in a society where I'm not worried about getting a horrible fucking disease because you and yours aren't vaccinated. That was my edginess. on that. And the 2 videos that they flagged had nothing about vaccines in them at all. But with dart guns, yeah, if need be, you come out of your house, you're not vaccinated. Ah! God damn it, they got me. Now I'm vaccinated. I agree, based on if no human being already had immunity to a virus. Huh? Bro, you just don't understand epidemiology. It was so funny the other day. I watched a Joe Rogan clip, and Biden was saying, one of the most important things you can do this hurricane season is to get vaccinated. And Joe's like, why would you get vaccinated in a hurricane? What is the vaccine going to stop the hurricane? What they don't know is that when places are inundated with water, the sewers overflow, right? And people's drinking water becomes dirty, and people get things like yellow fever and cholera and measles and mumps in those environments. They spread like wildfire. And if you're vaccinated against those things, the chances of you getting them and dying in a disaster situation are lower. So it's just like people are just retarded on epidemiology. They don't know how vaccines and inoculation have saved the world from things like fucking mumps, fucking rubella, yellow fever, smallpox. What's the one that fucking came that affected children the worst and to put people in iron lungs? What's that one? I'm brain farting the name. But it's like not cholera. Polio. Yeah, polio. TB. Like all these dudes are chuckling because they lived through what their ancestors didn't, because they got vaccinated, because their families got vaccinated. People don't know that back in the smallpox days, there were door-to-door vaccination squads. They would kick down your door in the middle of the night and come in and vaccinate you and your family if you were known to be ducking the vaccination and inoculation. Because you didn't have a right to spread smallpox all over the fucking city. People don't know this shit because they're historically illiterate and they're scientifically illiterate, and they chuckle about epidemiology in the middle of an epidemic. Yeah, I didn't know that at all. You can look it up. Look up Revolutionary American Measures Against Smallpox. The goon squad would kick in your door in the middle of the night, pin you and your family down, and inoculate you, which involved, at the time, making a little cut and then putting infected but recovered person's blood infected with a weakened version of smallpox. And you and your whole family would get sick, but you wouldn't die. And at the end of it, you'd have immunity. So it wasn't even vaccination, it was inoculation back then. So what would happen is the goon squad would kick in your door, they would pin you and your family down. A doctor would make a little incision in the arm of each one of your family members, opening up your blood to the air. And then they would take a little vial of weakened virus, blood from a fucking survivor patient, weakened version of the smallpox virus, and they would rub it in your wound and hold you down until that had time to set in, and then they'd leave. And then the next day, you and your whole family would get real fucking sick, but you wouldn't die. And after you recovered, you were now immune. When I was a kid, I went to what's called a chickenpox party. There was no vaccine for chickenpox back in the day. So the wisdom was get it young, because the older you get chickenpox, the worse it is. So when I was about 11 or 12, chickenpox, somebody in my family's circle got chickenpox. The kids all went, played with the kid that had chickenpox. My sister got it first. I got it second. I had a horrible case of the chickenpox at 11 years old. And then after I had the chicken pox, I never got it again because now I'm immune to the chicken pox. That's called inoculation. So people don't know this shit. People laugh about it because they've been told by the media that it's all bullshit. Yeah, you call COVID a mild cold in here when it killed over 1 million people just in this country? You're going to get banned. I don't let people spread misinformation in here. You can go be dumb in somebody else's chat if that's your fucking thing. COVID killed over 1 million people just in this country. The estimates are 6 to 7 million worldwide and counting because it's still around. It's still endemic. So you're going to have to deal with that or shut your fucking hole. Yep. COVID took my kid's dad at the age of 42, right? And there's a bunch of people out there who are like, COVID's just a cold. It's all a Fauci conspiracy until somebody they know and love dies of it. And that's what it takes sometimes. If it doesn't reach out and touch you directly, then here in America, you don't give a fuck about it. And that's no way to live. That's no empathy. That's zero empathy. That's zero awareness of your place in society. That's living a solipsistic main character life. If you have to be personally touched by tragedy to care about a national tragedy, you are a solipsistic, self-involved dumbass. Period. Main character syndrome, Dunning-Kruger, run amok. Run absolutely amok. With your hairstyle and beard and high intelligence while wearing a Biggie t-shirt must be confusing to a lot of people. Why? Why? Do you think intelligence, and by the way, I'm not any more intelligent than the average person. My IQ is strongly mid. I took an IQ test. I am not a genius. I'm a mid-tier wit, okay? So there's that. But why would the way I dress or the way I keep my hair change the way that somebody would think about me? Why would it confuse people that I speak the way I do because I'm a long hair guy with a beard and I'm wearing a Biggie shirt? Like, why would that matter? Yeah, Biggie was hyper intelligent. And his lyrics were some of the smartest ever written. That's why he's revered so far after his death. You're above average, especially these days. Not according to my intelligence quotient. So if you go by that blunt little tool, I am strongly average on the planet. I'm a midwit. Okay? Strongly average in every way. I'm a college dropout, so I have some college. That makes me strongly average amongst white males. There is a strong minority of white males that have no college. But the vast majority of white males in this country have some college. Then you get into a smaller microcosm of college graduate. Then you get into an even smaller microcosm of graduate school graduates, like PhD candidate, right? And on the other end of it, you've got people that dropped out of high school. You got people that dropped out sophomore year, and that's where their education stopped. And I'm somewhere right smack dab in the middle of that milieu amongst white men, at the very least, in the area that I grew up in and in the broader United States. Now, you could make an argument for me being more well-read than your average midwit, and I would say I probably am. But if you take my intelligence quotient to mean anything, I think I tested it like 96. Maybe triple digit. I might have been 100. Something like that. And I took the long form IQ test, not the short little online one. Okay? I took the 2-day long, 4-hour session IQ test. No. I think it was somewhere between 96 and 102 or something like that. It was in that range. I don't remember exactly. It was over 10 years ago that I took the test. It was like 15 or almost 20 years ago now. I didn't say 86, I said 96. That's what I tested. You guys can be beleaguered by that, but that's dead middle average. That's not a bad IQ test. That doesn't make me a person that has intellectual disabilities. In fact, far from it.
It's more like 50.
Yeah.
They start
Intellectual
saying-
disability is like below 80.
Yeah.
Is when they start saying you're intellectually disabled. And then 50 is when you need like help. When you can't really live at 50 or below. So 96 or 102 or whatever it was in there that I'd tested is a pretty fucking good score. But it puts me in the middle of everybody. Maybe the high end of the middle, whatever. Average is 95 to 105. I'm pretty sure. You can look it up. It might even be a little lower. It might start at like 89. It might be like 89 to 105. It's not self-deprecating. It's honest. I'm not a fucking professor, bro. I'm not a genius. I don't have genius intellect. I'm a strongly average wit.
It's sad how many people think that average means bad.
I know.
Now. It's like everyone's got to be a little better than average.
Everybody's got to be exceptional in some way. And it's just not true. I might be exceptional in my personality or the way I developed my personality. That might make me exceptional. I think it does.
But to say that average is bad, it's like if you have an average body type, that doesn't mean that like the whole like 1 to 10 thing, like everyone rates themselves as like a 6 or 7 almost.
Right.
Like,
Then most people are like a 4 objectively or whatever the fuck. 4 to 5.
Yeah.
It's fucking retarded. I just know where I stand. I actually sat the test. Now, I don't believe that IQ tells the whole tale. In fact, I know it doesn't. But if you're testing somebody that has my demographic, which is a publicly educated American white male, IQ gives you a good idea where you stand amongst at least that group. And the answer to my long form IQ test was I'm right in the middle of everybody. Like you're really good at articulating your thoughts. That is practice. So, if you have a middling intellect, but you want to talk in a way that is interesting and expressive to people, you do what I did. You practice your whole life since I was a baby. I've been practicing talking to people, holding conversation, telling stories, making my thoughts into words. I practiced that more than I practiced any one thing in my entire life. It is my life's work, is having my thoughts understood and heard in a way that people like to hear. Study, practice, deliberate practice. We're talking thousands of hours in my life of deliberate practice. Not just on that, but acting, improvisation, commedia dell'arte. I'm a trained commedia dell'arte performer. That's a dead performance art that gave birth to mimery and clowning. I'm a commedia dell'arte trained actor. There might be 10,000 of us in the world. It's a dead art. I was trained in it because it gave me a facility for my acting and speaking and presentation.
you can be a really smart person and make real dumb decisions too.
Absolutely.
Some people are so intelligent that they can create their own
Bubble.
narrative,
Yeah.
or like, oh, I can make a justification for anything I do.
I'm intelligent enough to be a sophist and justify every bad thing as a good thing.
Yeah.
And that can destroy a life.
That's Ted Kaczynski did that.
Yeah.
Very high intelligence.
There's a number of people you could point out that did
Yeah.
that. Richard Nixon.
Yeah.
High intelligence, self-destructive as fuck.
Yeah.
Right? Tesla. High intelligence, but not intelligent enough to know that you can't do everything alone, and that you have to protect yourself. You can't sign everything in your life away and expect people to recognize your genius in your time. Right? One of the most uncontroversial geniuses of all time, ruined, died a pauper. Right? People make bad decisions. People make good decisions. Stupid people luck their way and make one good decision in their life that changes their whole trajectory, and they run companies now, right? So this idea that your IQ is somehow indicative of something in your life is kind of silly. If it's low, it is. If it's super high, it is. But if you're like you, me, and everybody else, and it's right in the middle, it's not really something you need to worry about, guys. At all. Like, people said I was being self-deprecating. It is not self-deprecating, to tell the truth. I am not a genius. I don't have a 120 IQ. My IQ is somewhere in the high 90s or low hundreds. I'm solidly average. Okay? But I'm a solidly average wit that has spent deliberately thousands of hours in his life practicing his art. And his art, in this case, is speaking, performing, captivating people with my words and my thoughts and my performance. And I have done nothing in my life but that, deliberately and with practice and training. I've worked with some of the most talented people I've ever known. And they've imbued me with their wisdom. And I carry that forward in my life, and I'll never lose it. Is it impossible to increase your IQ? Yes, it is.
The very basics are like, if you don't understand how to read the questions, that's going to lower your score. So increasing your reading ability is going to increase.
So the reason I keep saying things like white American male is because the IQ test is a very blunt tool when taken outside of very specific demographics. So if you took an IQ test to Africa, and a lot of times white nationalists will use this as proof that black people are stupid. The average IQ in sub-Saharan Africa is something like 70, I think, 75. But we're talking about a spatial awareness test that's based on living in a world they don't live in.
Yeah.
So how are you going to test them by a metric that expects them to know things about the world and interfacing with it that don't apply in their worlds?
A lot of it is like do you have like kind of like puzzle pieces in a way in some of the questions? Do you remember?
Yeah. Puzzle pieces. There's spatial awareness questions that use like modern concepts.
Yeah.
Radio was one of the things that they tested me on. It was like I spent 30 minutes on radio wave transfer and learning a little blurb about it, and then explaining and extrapolating through the IQ test what I thought about it, right? That was part of it. What the fuck does somebody that lives in a tribe in Africa know about radio? Or the concept of a wave of information moving through the fucking sky? They've never dealt with it. And if they have, certainly the concept was never explained to them in any meaningful way. So why would you expect them to test high as everybody else does on the IQ?
Yeah, it's based on a baseline level of education that a lot of people don't have access to.
So the answer to your question is, can you raise your IQ? Yes. If you took a sub-Saharan African child and tested their IQ at childhood, and they tested at 65 or 70,
and you moved them
and
into
you
the
moved
US,
that child to the US and gave them a good middle-of-the-road baseline education and tested them after that, their IQ would jump 20 points. And that's absolutely true, Alexander. It's a little dismissive, but IQ is a WASP test. It's a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant test. It's good for testing white males and white females that live in the West, and let you know how you compare amongst that demographic. You take it outside of that specific demographic, and you have a whole slew of reasons why people would test higher or lower that make it not as good a tool. So people live by this IQ shit. Unless you're real high or catastrophically low, it don't mean a fucking thing. Because I tell you what, you take somebody with a 120, 130 genius level IQ, drop them in the bush in sub-Saharan Africa, who's the retard now? There's no measure for that. There's no measure for culture. There's no measure for different demographics in the IQ test. So it is good for one thing and one thing only. If you're a white person in the West, it's good to know where you stand amongst other white people in the West. And that's it.
It also depends on your experience with test taking in general.
Yep.
Like if that's the first test you ever took in your whole life, it's going to be a lot harder than someone that's been taking a bunch of similar
Absolutely.
kinds of tests.
I was better at that test, taking the full IQ test, because I'd taken the I didn't take the fucking SAT, but I took whatever the thing was.
ACT.
The ACT.
Yeah.
I'd taken long form tests, 2-hour long tests for my fucking finals in college and in high school by then. I'd written fucking 10-page single-space papers and done research documents and all that shit, right? I had all that knowledge going into the test. That bumped my fucking quotient up by at least 20 points. If you don't have all that, you're going to test lower. Doesn't mean you're retarded. Just means you didn't avail yourself or you weren't in a position to be educated in the same way I was. That's why it's only good for measuring people in the West that had a Western education. And even amongst that group, you have racial divisions because, unfortunately, education is not uniform across racial divides in the United States.
Redlining influenced the housing ownership and the value of homes, and property taxes fund schools in the U.S.
The worst schools in America, the most underfunded and understaffed and overpopulated and problematic schools in America are in low economic areas. Areas where people don't make enough money, areas where kids have very little opportunity. And it's compounded by the schools being underfunded, understaffed, and overpopulated with children. So they don't get the same education I did as a little white kid in Madera, California. They just don't have the option.
You just gotta. He just likes planting himself.
I just have to look before I ash and see where he's planted. You're not an ashtray, D. You're not an ashtray, big boy. Big baby. If you want to go inside, are you too warm? I think Dad's going to wrap up here in about 20 minutes and join you inside.
I wanted to bring you in, D.
Oh, yeah. He's like, yeah, please. Sometimes I low-key wish I had a low IQ because it makes you more happy in life, like a doggy. I don't know if that's true. But it's going to be hot today. It's going to be hot today, Peter. I hope you're fucking comfortable and indoors today, Peter, because it is going to be fucking sweltering here in California today. Yeah, you too, brother. Stay indoors if you can, Peter. I ain't kidding, man. I ain't kidding, man. And I hope to get a hold of you here soon and get you some information about this trip, because I've talked to the guys already and we're going to make it happen for you if you need help. So we're going to make sure you can get out to us at the very least. And I'm going to contact you and we're going to find out what we need to do for that. Because I don't want to do another meetup without you, man. It's not the same. So as soon as we got a date, you're going to be getting a text from me. So keep your eyes peeled, okay? We're going to figure out what we got to do to get you there. And we're going to make it happen for you. Does Cali have some humidity like in Florida? Yes.
It depends. Like California is a wide biome.
Yeah, it's got every kind of biome. So you got very dry heat in places like Death Valley, and you've got a mixed bag in places like the Central Valley where I am now, where we will have hot days that are very dry but scorchingly hot. I think today is going to be one of those days. I don't know what the humidity index is right now, but I'd be willing to bet it's pretty low. but it's just going to be scorching heat radiation. And then there are some days here where it's muggy as fuck. It's only 89 degrees, but you can't stop flop sweating outside because it's also 90% humidity. So we get a taste of Florida, but Florida gets way, like, I will tell you that. The South is like humidity central. It's nothing like it.
Yeah, when there's a heat wave in the South, you better fucking run
You have to
inside.
be indoors, and you better hope the fuck grid holds up.
Yeah.
Because you're fucked. You can't get wet to cool off. Getting wet makes it worse.
And I remember, like, the first summer I was in Louisiana, it's like you take a shower and then you're just immediately sweaty again.
You never, like, I would tell people, you take a shower in the morning and you have to be out and about, you will never dry. You will have that sheen of I just got out of the shower all day. It's fucked. There's nowhere for the water to evaporate. It's thick in the air, so it just sticks to you. Fucked, bro. The giant from Clash of Clans. High 90s, about 40% humidity today down south. Yeah, that's pretty fucking nasty, bro. UV index says 7. Yeah, I'm in the shade, and I'm about to be indoors, bro. And you guys won't see me on another one of these unless it's nighttime.
Or early morning.
Or early tomorrow morning. Because fuck that, bro. 107 is no joke. Who's your favorite character in Neverending Story? I think you know. They look like good, strong hands, don't they? My friends, the man with the racing snail, the night hob, even the stupid bat. I couldn't hold on to them. The nothing came and it took them away. And now I'm waiting for the nothing to come and take me away too. Doesn't have to be that way, Rockbiter. You can escape, you can live. No, I couldn't hold on to them. I couldn't save my friends. The Rockbiter, bro. The Rockbiter. $11 on the UV? Bro, don't even go outdoors. That's like, that'll cook you. It says extreme next to it. Yeah, and that means it. Like, old people are gonna die where you are because of that. Old people and young people are especially susceptible to high UV indexes and high heat humidity indexes. The earth is burning, yeah. It's becoming uninhabitable, bro. We're on the front edge of a collapse of the climate. We're seeing a 6th mass extinction event happening in real time here on the planet. We're gonna see some wild shit the next 20 years, bros. And if you're younger than me in the next 40, I don't want to talk to you about what I think you're gonna see. Not pretty. Dude, a UV index of 11 means extreme danger to your skin. It means burns, deep, deep, deep sunburns. It means cancer. You gotta stay out of that shit. 7 is unhealthy. 11 is extreme. You can't be out in that without full protection. And if you are, you fucked. Who's your favorite philosopher? My favorite philosopher is a guy named Derek Jensen. He wrote a book called Language Older Than Words. He also wrote a book called Endgame. He also wrote a book called Bright Green Lies with a couple other authors. He's written a number of philosophical works. I think a dozen books or more. He is like a part-time volunteer teacher. He teaches prisoners at a facility in Northern California, and he writes books. So that's my favorite philosopher. He's a little bit of an eco-terrorist and a little bit of a TERF. He's not a trans ally. I don't agree with him on everything, but he is my favorite philosopher. Endgame is so good. It's also available in a talk here on YouTube, part 1 and 2. And it's a really compelling talk. It's been many years since I did it. I think I'll do a desktop stream one night. We're going to go through Endgame again. I did a stream of it one time expecting most people to tune out, and it actually ended up being a really popular stream. And it's been 5 years, so I think we're due for another watch of Endgame together, and we'll go through it line by line and explain the core philosophy of Derek Jensen. It's rainy season, was not started here in the South Asia during summer. Whole civilization can collapse. Yeah. Yeah, I know, dude. I know it's bad. I hope you're safe. People are dying in the streets. People are dying in the Mideast right now. It's in the middle of Eid al-Fitr. People are making pilgrimages and dying on the road, dying on their way to the Kaaba. People are dying in the streets in Indonesia. Right here in America, on the eastern seaboard in the Midwest, they're having a record-breaking heat wave, and old people mostly are dying in the streets. Over 1,000 have died, yeah, in the Mideast with this heat wave. It's hitting Europe. It's new. It's like all the shit that we've been warned about that a lot of people are just scoffing at. Now it's here. And it's going to be worse next year. That's the problem, right? If this was the new baseline, we could learn to live it and hold it here. But that's not true. It's going to be worse next year, and the year after that, and the year after that, and the year after that. Think about 10 years. Think about 20. It's about to be crazy, y'all. About to be crazy.
I almost worry that younger people are going to be even less concerned because this is all they've known.
Right. It's always been over hot. It's always been you can't go outside in the sun. Yeah, it's going to be, it's like the, I know it's not a good analogy because frogs will jump out, but it's the boiling frog analogy. Right? Put a frog in a pot of water that's boiling, it'll jump right out. If you put it in there and slowly turn the heat up, it'll boil to death. It's not true, the frog will jump out, but as an analogy, that's what we're facing. We're the frog. The boiling water is slowly being turned up. It started to reach a little bubbling boil now. And we're all going, this is fine because it's normal. Nothing has changed radically. I was born, it was 105, it's 110 now. I mean, what the fuck? 5-degree swing, that's not that big a deal, but it is. Globally, a fucking 2-degree swing is catastrophic. Ever hear of solar punk? Yeah, I have heard of it. I don't know that I've read any long-form works that I would call solar punk, but I have heard of it. By the way, this is the timer. When this is done, my ass is grass, bro. I'm out.
It is getting.
So rapid fire questions. I like to do Q&As that are easy here at the end of this to say goodbye to everybody. So ask me your questions, get your answers. This is your timer. I'm about to spark it. And then once this is gone, so am I, because it's fucked up. Like I told you, it's 11 o'clock, not even noon yet. I bet it's 100 degrees. High 90s. You should tell us a story about the creature you saw with your friend as a kid. I told that story recently. Metal rock or punk rock. You can go back a couple fucking shows and I told that story in detail. Punk rock, if I had to choose. What's your nationality? Well, I'm American by birth, but my 23andMe says I'm Irish, British, and Scandinavian. And then a little mix of German and French in there, but mostly Irish. Irish is my biggest block, like nationality-wise. Your take on secular humanism? I'm for it. I'm a humanist. Hehe, Sigara? Yeah. RFK or Biden? Neither. They're both fucking weirdos. I'm voting for Jill Stein. I know she won't win, but I think she's got her mental faculties about her. I think I agree with her on maybe 70 or 80% of her policy, and she went to jail for justice. So she gets my California vote this year. Tacos o burritos? Tacos. Tacos, senor. Nothing like a taco. How much is a pack of cigs in Cali? I think it's like $9. It's fucking retarded. What's your thoughts on the border crisis? Open it up. Give us you're tired, you're hungry, you're poor. The tempest-tossed masses of your teeming shores yearning to breathe free. Yeah? Open it up. There's no crisis. We've created the crisis. You need to stay true to your roots and talk like an Irish. Oh, aye, laddie. Don't you know the world's burning and people don't seem to realize it? And I'm not sure what to do. I'm not sure what I can say from my little island here. But I'll tell you this much. I'm protecting myself. I won't be baking out here in the sun like a fucking meat pie. No, sir. I'll be going inside for me shelter. I'll be going inside for me health. And I recommend that you do the same. I'll trade you gas for cigs. Nope. Nope. I don't buy gas anymore. I have an electric car. I drive an EV. I plug my shit in, so I haven't purchased gas since May. I bought the car in May. So yeah, dude, I don't have any gas. Sorry. Or I don't have any need for it. Nope, menthol banned in California. They don't sell them anymore. Seen any good horror movies lately? Yeah, watch Talk to Me. It was a really good horror flick that I just watched. Really enjoyed it. It's an Australian movie. Really stylish and fun and got a good twist. Will quantum mechanics save us or destroy us? I don't know. Fuck, I just told you I'm a midwit, man. You're above my pay grade already. Oh yeah, I saw that. It was good. Let me think of another one then to give you that I've seen recently, because I've seen a couple of fucking notable horror films recently. Maybe not brand new ones. I just watched Midsummer. I mean, if you haven't seen any of the A24 horror movies, I recommend them. Like Men is a pretty fucking spooky movie. It's an A24 movie. I don't have to use gas. I drive an EV. Sorry. Oh, sorry. The gas doesn't mean shit to me. Electronic car batteries die here in the winter. Yeah, not where I'm at. I live in California. Midsummer is goated. Haven't seen Men yet. I'll check that one out. Yeah. I just went and saw the extended director's cut in theaters on Midsummer 2 days ago. On Midsummer's Day. And it was fucking cool. It was really cool. Saw it in IMAX, so it's original aspect ratio and everything. I've seen The Lighthouse. Yeah, it's a great movie. And I gotta go, dude. I'm getting dizzy sitting out here. The heat is too much. Thank you for joining me. If you're a patron, merch tier patron, stay tuned for your live commentary today. Starting in a couple hours, I think around 2 p.m. PST, you'll get your notification. And then later on, you'll see it if you're a regular patron. And if not, maybe I'll see you tonight. And if not, maybe I'll see you tomorrow. And if not, maybe I'll die and you'll never see me again. I'll see you next time. Bye.